Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nibiru channel, March 12th, 2017. Kind of interesting enough, I had a conversation the other day with an associate friend. We were talking about all of these wildfires that are erupting all over the world. And what can possibly be causing these wildfires. We've had such erratic weather all around the world, so it's really hard to say. But I've seen so many of these wildfires, but yet no cause. And we were actually on the subject of meteors, because there have been so many meteor sightings. And then we got into the conversation, hey, is it a possibility that these meteor fragments could be starting some of these fires, because we haven't had any results as to the cause. So just yesterday, March 11th, 2017, another meteor fireball was recorded over southern Germany. Now, it wasn't that big of an event. Here is one still photograph. Basically looks like a bright ball in the sky. There is some video. The video is very quick. We'll go ahead and play it. I'll leave a link for this information. And there you go. Wasn't very much of an event, but it was captured. And that was over Germany yesterday. Now, looking at some of these wildfires, started putting together the information on meteor sightings, fireball sightings, and the areas in which these fires have been pretty prominent. So we found a direct correlation with the fires in Colorado, Texas, the South. I mean, even down in Naples, there was a large wildfire burning. We did find that each and every one of these situations where these wildfires just erupted, and some of the accusations have been, wow, what started that? These lands are wet, they're moist. But yet these large wildfires just keep erupting everywhere. What is the cause, is my question. So we got on the subject of, hey, small meteor fragments, they do find them. The earth is getting pelted with these little objects. How much, what's their temperature? Could they actually do this? And then we looked at the average temperature of a meteor fragment hitting the earth is approximately 500 degrees Celsius, which is about, I think the conversion was 932 degrees. So that would be like flicking a lit cigarette in a very extra dry bale of hay. Eventually it's going to smolder and a fire is possible. And if these are hitting in remote areas where there's not a lot of people to identify this fire immediately, it will catch and spread very quickly. Another disaster in, I think it's Abbott County, Texas. Actually, 6, the governor, Abbott, 6 counties, disaster after wildfires. I mean, this is spreading all over the world. But again, we don't have any root cause. So I remembered a story back in, I believe it was the spring of 2016, where some Maryland firefighters, and I was able to find the article again, a couple of Maryland firefighters reported that they reported to a fire, and when they got there, they saw this big crater in the ground. The ground completely burnt. And after the fire was put out, after a few hours, they found some very large, what looked like stone fragments, and a lot of smaller ones. Here's a picture of some of the smaller ones. And they thought that, hey, this looks like a meteor. So they reported this situation to NASA. This article goes to tell you about the response of the firefighters, and getting there, what they saw, what they found after putting out the fire. They found the rocks, and they reported it to NASA. And NASA said No way. They're not buying it. But yet, meteorites, small fragments, and they were, some of them were kind of big. They were found, they were turned in, and they're not any type of rock that is indigenous to this part of Maryland. Now, I'm sure they don't want people to think, even last spring, that meteor fragments like this can cause very intense forest fires or wildfires. But, I mean, after doing the little bit of research and finding out that these small fragments of meteorites, they can be almost 1,000 degrees, depending, I guess, on their composition. And the physics website that I was on grabbing this information, they also stated that depending on the composition of these space rocks, when they're much larger, they're actually very cold inside. Their core is pretty much frozen. However, the outer shell would naturally heat up as it was burning through the atmosphere. So, once again, NASA just thinks that we're pretty stupid. That a 900-degree burning rock hitting a dry forest, creating an impact the size, you could fit a pickup truck in there. Small pickup, a vehicle. That's a pretty big blast impact. But yet all the evidence shows that, but they look the other way and tell you that's not possible. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, we have so many things going on around the world. Once again, I mean, the earthquake situation, which I was analyzing today, the earthquakes are actually getting a little bit bigger. When I looked at 5 o'clock in the morning, there were already 93 earthquakes that were over a magnitude 3.5. The volcano situation is still occurring around the world. The wildfires, still, they're burning. And very, very terrible flooding all around the world. So once again, all of the deceiving is out there. I can see it. I analyze and watch and read and research all of this information every single day all around the world. So you tend to start to see very serious patterns. And weather related, well, I'd have to say that our weather is like it's on acid or LSD. It's completely out of control and crazy. But yet, you'll have others that will say, no, I don't see that. Oh, that's normal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. As I have said before, think back. Think back in your life and think hard. Have you ever seen the planet that you live on, that you call Earth? Have you ever seen it like this before? Of course, we've had weather-related catastrophes. It's part of life on this planet. But the magnitude that is occurring since the middle of 2016 and now 3 months into 2017, I definitely see an uptick in everything. So once again, we're going to keep our eye on all of this. If you have any thoughts on this, drop me an email. It's in the description box. And once again, keep your eyes open, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in any of these areas where they're prone to natural disasters, make sure that you can identify what disaster, earthquakes, volcanoes, what's around you. Make sure you have that preparedness plan, an evacuation plan. Just finding out what happened in Oroville during those evacuations still has me very startled. There were many, many people, elderly people, just completely confused, nowhere to go. They didn't know what was happening. So once again, just think, look around you. You see what is happening. There's no deceiving you. I'd like to thank you for watching the Nibiru channel. Thank you for subscribing. And we're going to stay on top of everything that we can find that's disrupting life on this planet. Thank you for watching.